my friends, if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how I preserved my wedding flowers. So if you are getting married soon, or maybe one day down the line, or you have flowers that you want to preserve, just keep on watching. So as you guys may know, I got married in May and I had the most beautiful wedding. I put a lot of thought and care into all the details, including the flowers, and just the idea of just drying my flowers and letting them gather dust just made me really, really sad. So I wanted something that was going to last, that was going to stand the test of time, that'd be something I could enjoy. And I did a lot of research and I ultimately decided to preserve my flowers in resin. So this is an example of one of the products I made. But as you can see, that's actually one of the roses that was in my bridal bouquet and some of the greenery. And so what I did is I actually decided to make them into Christmas ornaments. So this is the final product. This is again one of the flowers that was in my bouquet. And yeah, so what we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna go right into watching me make them. Before I do that, I am gonna leave everything down below that you're gonna need. You're gonna need some epoxy resin. You're going to need like an accelerator or a catalyst that goes with it. You're also going to need some molds. You're going to need, of course, your flowers. Now for your flowers, it's really, 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 really important that they're totally and completely dry. So I actually dried mine in my mother-in-law's furnace room upside down for about 2 weeks. Like there can't be any moisture in there, otherwise they're going to turn color and they're not going to turn out very nicely. The other thing I used was I actually used gold leaf in some of them, which I thought was really beautiful. And the reason I wanted to use gold leaf was because my wedding had a ton of gold. It was white and pink flowers, gold, blue, and it was just stunning. And the reason I'm just so excited about having these is that one day when my husband and I have a Christmas tree, like we can put my wedding flowers on there, you know, or we can use them as coasters. And it's just, you know what, is it the best way ever possibly to preserve your wedding flowers? Like, no, but it's cost effective and it's a way that I'm gonna have them forever. We did look into like sending our flowers off to be preserved, but it was just so expensive. And this was just, it was easy. We love the results. We've been getting tons of compliments from our friends. So I hope you find this helpful. Let's get started. So I have my clear polyester casting resin. And then I have the catalyst, which is sold separately, my mold, some mixing bowls and cups, my, mixing for like colors or things like that, my measuring cup that has little measuring things in there, another mold, some seashells from our honeymoon, leaves from our wedding, and flowers from our wedding, and the camera up there. So let me show you how I made these beautiful Christmas ornaments. So I've got my mold right here. You probably should wear gloves for this, but I honestly just take my rings and jewelry off and it's fine. Okay, so you're gonna start with your mold. So this is the mold I'm using to make Christmas ornaments. I do have other molds, like for example, this one makes a diamond, this one makes a cube, I've got some spheres, but I wanna make Christmas ornaments today because I found that those turn out the best and they're the most useful. So you're going to start with your clear casting resin right here and just pour it into the thing. And for a 1 inch, for this one, for a 1 inch thick item, which is what this is, you need 30 milliliters of this and 4 drops of catalyst. So I'm going to go right up to the 90. It's very important that you get the measurements right because if you don't, it's not going to set properly. So this is the casting catalyst. So because I did 4 times the amount, I need to do 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now I'm going to take one of my clear sticks, and this I'm going to mix it for like 2 minutes straight. Make sure to scrape the sides. I definitely recommend doing this outside because it does create quite the smell. So I'm actually just on the patio outside. I don't wanna wait, no. pour this a little bit into each mold, and that's just gonna make the first one.
You know, the everlasting one. Don't matter if your heart is cold, I got plenty of time and heat for you.
Perfect. So now I'm gonna let it set just like that for about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and place my embeds in there, but I'm gonna let it set so it gets a little bit thicker and heavier. So now it is time to put our flowers in. I've got a whole bunch of flowers and leaves from our wedding, and I'm gonna start with this one. I think it's a ranunculus. And what I'm gonna do is I am gonna put it down this way because you are making your molds upside down, so the front is gonna be there. But I'm just gonna coat a little bit of plastic or resin throughout this side of the flower to make sure that we're not getting any little air bubbles in there. Actually, to speed up, I'm just gonna pour a little bit of it right into the flower. So there's a lot of space in that flower. This is about the only flower that I would do that for. Now I'm just gonna pop it right in there. And it's okay if the back sticks up a bit because you can either file it off or just leave it. Like this is gonna be a Christmas ornament, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna coat that in there. And then I'm gonna use my little poker stick to just move that over and just kind of, I'm just gonna poke out a little bit to make sure that we've got resin all throughout the flower. That one does pretty perfectly fill up that space. And that one's really all we're gonna do for that one. Now for this next one, I'm gonna do a design with some of my little roses. So I'm just gonna dip it in, and let's do a rose. And then let's take this pink rose and open it up a little bit. Nice and open. Again, I'm just gonna dip it and place it and really give it a good little push down. Got my white rose. Now let's do some leaves. Why don't we put some of this eucalyptus in there? You can't get too worried about what it's gonna look like. It's really just about anything can happen. So now on to the next one. I think what I'd like to do for the next one is take some of this beautiful eucalyptus and let's take this white flower here and just again open it up a bit. Just gonna go for a quick little dip and place. And then for this one, I'm gonna take some of my gold leaf and put it in there. So the gold leaf has a tendency to stick to the sides of the mold. So what I just like to do is not get too hung up about it, but poke it right down in there.
You better turn up. You better be there when I shake. Watch me rockin' if I can't stop. If I should fall, just go ahead. Go and catch me, baby.
Now it's time to mix up again. So you just keep repeating this. I like to mix the 90 ml, 12 drops. So for this one, I'm going to be putting in some of the seashells we got on our honeymoon. These are just some of the smaller shells.
I've been staring at your face for a while. Boy, I'm digging your style, and I love the way you smile. No one ever made me feel this way. Boy, you take my breath away. ocean. Boy, you're the most beautiful I ever seen.
And again, we are just going to
You're the one for me. Hey, pretty boy, I got a question. Do you wanna roll with me? Do you wanna stroll with me? Come on, baby.
So again, we're just going to mix. Just flour a little bit of coke. I like to put a little bit of gold leaf in all of mine. I just think it sort of ties everything together, and I love gold. So let's just put this one over here. This one's gonna be more of a background side. And now we are just going to leave those overnight and we'll come back to them. So now that you've seen the process, I do want to show you a couple of fails, like this thing here. These ones are actually stuck together. So these are a couple of fails. So for these ones, I bought some alcohol ink because I thought it'd be kind of fun to tint them. But as you can see, it is super rough along the edges and it was sticky for the longest time, cloudy. They're just not very nice. And so I just found that when I was experimenting with like alcohol inks, that it set the ratio off of what's in your epoxy resin, and it's really important that the ratios are perfect because otherwise it just won't work. So for example, these two fails are fused together. This one was supposed to be really nice. It was gonna have like gold ink and then pink flowers in it, and it's just ugh. Anyways, I found I got much better results by just keeping the epoxy clear and not adding anything to it other than my embeds and the gold. Now this one was another bit of a fail. This was a cube, it's supposed to be a paperweight. It's not that bad, but the problem with it is I was putting glitter in it and the glitter just all sort of sunk to the bottom of that layer. And again, just not very nice. But I am gonna show you a couple of successes. So these are ones that could be paperweights for either Stuart or myself. These have roses in them. This one is a diamond with a rose in it. A couple of things that you want to keep in mind as you're pouring your resin. It's okay to do layers, just make sure that they're all equal. The reason you want to do a layer is you want to do a thin layer at the bottom, put your embed in it, and then let it set for 20 or 30 minutes until it gets pretty tacky, because otherwise your flower is going to rise up within the mold and you're not going to get that multi-dimensional sort of finish that you're going for. So anyways, I hope that you found this video helpful. Let me know down in the comments below if you are planning on preserving your wedding flowers or if this is something that interests you. Again, we are so happy with the results. They're just so beautiful and we know that we are going to enjoy these for years to come. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.